In our previous video, we talked about closing the money gap. And so today I want to talk to you about things you can do right now, today, to begin closing that money gap. Now, closing that money gap does not mean like, oh my gosh, you're going to have to take like some really hard steps, painful steps, but a little adjustments here and there, doing things different, and even expanding in areas that we're already doing, or considering things, brand new things, can help us close that money gap. In closing this money gap, I'm not necessarily talking about just doing it for today, right? So there are things you're going to do today, but these things will continue to go on even after you move abroad. You can continue to do these things because not only are we going to close the money gap, we're also going to increase your earning power. That is what it's all about. Making sure that when you relocate, you have money to live abroad and live it in a way that really suits your lifestyle. That you're not on the struggle bus, that you're not continuously looking at your numbers, continuing worrying about how much money you have, simply because you have taken care of these things in advance. I don't want your delay to continue to say, I can't move because of money. So let's talk about what you can do right now, today, probably right after this video, not before or in the middle, right after this video, where you can begin to close the money gap. These are actually practical steps. I'm going to give you examples and ideas because I hear from you that this is what's getting in your way. So today, let that be the last day you say money is why you have not moved. So let's think about this. We talked about previously how our money is leaking and it's going places that perhaps maybe we probably don't even remember. How we're sharing our money with so many people. We talked about 1/3 of women actually have their money going outside of their houses to other people, to other things, supporting other people's dreams. And now we're going to refocus our funds on our dream, the things that we want to do. And if you start thinking about some things that you are already doing, how if you start to not say cut back, but eliminate those things. We talked about having conversations with people who you've been giving money to, who you've been supporting, and letting them know that perhaps maybe you're not going to be doing that any longer. Then you can see that leak or that money that's going out really helps you really attain your goal. Because even some of those things that we're doing, a lot of us may be paying for our children's phone, helping with car note, helping with rent. That money, if you bring that back, could also help you with putting down some of your debt. I remember when my own child lost her job and she was looking for another job. She was in between jobs. And I said to her, I am here for you. Anything you need, just let me know, except for paying your rent. Because in my own philosophy, this is my philosophy, Save 101, when I'm paying your rent, that means no longer can you afford that place. So maybe you need to come home, right? So those are some of the things we have to ask ourselves because that's a lot of money going outside our house. So when we find out that money that we have money in abundance or we have money that's around, let's think about what we can do today. Like I said, these are not really big moves. These are simple things that we can do. Little drops make a mighty ocean, and we're going to make a mighty ocean. So let's talk about first how our money may not even be positioned well. We may not have our money in places where we are giving it the best opportunity to give us a return simply by not even leaving the house. That money could give us a better return if we just kind of shift it. And so when we think about money gaps, it's not necessarily all about debt, but it's about where we are and where we want to be. What's in between is the gap. And so sometimes it's a lack of income, but sometimes it's a lack of positioning. Where is your money sitting on a daily basis? Is it really paying you back the best way it can? Ask yourself that question. Where are you not using your skills? And what places could you use your skills more? Or where could you use your skills and get paid more for them? There's additional places you can use your skills, or you can also be using your skills somewhere else and getting paid more. I always think about when I was living um, in Nigeria, and there were women who would walk on the street and they were selling rice and stew, which is a very Nigerian meal. And they would walk around with these big plates, plates and pots on the top of their head, and they were selling rice and stew. And stew is a very Nigerian meal, which is made of onions, tomatoes, and peppers. And they would sell it by the spoonful. And someone would buy, one or two spoons mixed with rice, and that would be something like 60 naira, which would at that time maybe the equivalent of 60 cents. But that same meal was served in a fast food restaurant for 800 naira, right? So that's like, let's just say $8. And then that same meal was served in some of the nicer restaurants for like $25. Just think about your burger, right? From your McDonald's burger to your burger in a diner. And then there's even like the $1,000 burger. It's the same thing. It's the placement of your skills. Are you placing your skills in a place where you're getting paid the highest for them? And then we talked about how our expenses are leaking out quietly simply because we're giving money here and there, or we're just spending our money in places that we're not even thinking about. We're spending our money in subscriptions. We're spending our money on just aimlessly, right? Things that we're not doing. And so we're also carrying the responsibilities of other people. So right now, if you had to reposition your money, reposition the money that you have, let's talk about first your savings account. Where is it sitting and how much interest is it earning? Are you earning the highest amount of interest that you could for the money that's in the bank? And so I am hoping that even right now that you already have an automatic amount that leaves from your pay to your savings account, or from your Social Security to your savings, or wherever your income is coming into, that some of that portion is going into savings. But is it going into a high yield savings account? Something that's giving you the highest interest possible at this particular time. And I'm not necessarily talking about CDs or money markets, but just a savings account. A lot of us have emergency accounts. An emergency account is having 3 to 6 months of what your rent or what your expenses are. So in that account, is it in a high yield savings? That's the first place that you can do right now. After this video, you can just switch your money to one of those accounts. Those usually are online accounts, not necessarily brick and mortar banks, but these are accounts that are held with institutions that are doing banking online. And believe me, it is so easy. I opened up, oh my gosh, I don't know how many years ago, an online account. I can't even remember the name of the institution, because afterwards they were taken over by Capital One, 360. So I banked with Capital One for years before I had ever saw a branch, before I had ever seen a branch, simply because there was none of those branches in my vicinity, in my neighborhood, in my state. And so I never saw a Capital until I moved. But the benefit of that is you can't just run and quickly take money out. So think about a high yield savings account right now of where you can transfer your money. And because in transferring your money there, automatically you're starting to earn more on the money you already have. That's something you can do today. I'm going to give you an example of some of those banks. I'm not giving you like these are recommendations. This is what you must do. This is not financial advice. These are just some banks that I know of that pays a higher rate. Ally Bank, Marcus by Goldman Sachs, Capital One 360, Sophie, and WealthCount. And I'll drop these banks also down in the program description so you can also get with links so you can get it. So this is about really finding a higher rate. And when you do this, don't kind of decide like why you want this particular bank. Look at their rates, look at if there's any minimums to the balances that you need to have, if there's any penalties for taking out if your balance is below anything. Find out, all the same things you would do, investigate with any bank that you would open an account. And then leave it there and let it and watch it grow and just watch it grow. Don't, start moving around from here to here. Just watch it grow right there. So another place, I talked to you earlier about your skills. Are you really using your skills to the maximum? The maximum, not necessarily in your employer, right? Because you can also, yes, look for a promotion there. You can get a different position in your company that would pay you more. But I want you to think about it in a remote sense, because whatever you start doing here, I want you to be able to continue to do this even when you move abroad if you would like to. So I don't want this income to end when you make your shift abroad. So think about ways that your skills could be used in other platforms. There are different platforms that exist that are looking for your skills, like LinkedIn services, right? Upwork. And I'm going to make a list of all the different ones. These are freelance opportunities for your consulting. And some of them are using skills that you have that you probably don't even use, like graphic artist skills. Of course, with AI, a lot more of the skills that we are probably at beginner level with, AI can assist us and take us to intermediate, even to experience level. I've found out I can actually build some things in some technology things just by using AI. And that has been a really time saver and a money saver for me. Things that I was paying other people to do. Now with AI, I'm able to do it really fast and I'm able to do it myself. And I'm saving myself a lot of money and paying other people to do it. So look at things that perhaps you can use with AI to enhance your skills and sell your skills on various platforms. Again, I'm going to put these platforms like LinkedIn, Fiverr, Upwork, Fiverr Pro. So you can also look there and see where your skills can match. Some of these sites are really great for us who have really high level skills. You have a professional, you've already been consulting, maybe you're a human resource, a technology person, a civil engineer, or maybe you're an accountant, you have finance skills. So look at some of these, there's sites that are here where they're kind of low grade skills, and there are also sites with really high level skills that are really paying significant amounts of money, like $200 an hour, because of the level of skill that you're going to bring. Remember, they could be short-term contracts, it could be advisory work, it could be consultant. I have also done career coaching from some sites where I have submitted my application because I have had some career training, coaching training. What is wrong with my tongue today? Some coaching training. I was able to sign up with different sites and become a career coach. That's something I do right from Panama, sitting at my desk, and calls are coming in. I'm coaching the person, and I really didn't have to do anything but just coach them. They did all the marketing. I just had to sit there and coach. And it was just a really easy way for me to create additional income. I want us to think about another way is, what do you have in your hand, right? We've all kind of heard that scripture. What do you have in your hand? What do you have now that could be generating money for you? A lot of us are still in homes that are larger than we actually need. We don't really use all that space, right? If you're in a home where your children was living, you have 2 and 3 bedrooms or 4 bedrooms. I mean, I remember when we downsized into a smaller home. Most of my neighbors had moved out of 8,000 square feet homes into a 5,000 square foot home. That was them downsizing, right? And so in us downsizing, we realized that we had a lot of space before that we were not using. What space in your home are you not using? Let's first start with, how many spare rooms do you have in your house? Rooms that you never go in. The only person that goes into is probably your cleaning person who comes and cleans them a couple of times a month. So would you be open to Airbnb-ing those or some kind of short-term rental? You can do a weekend, you can get a roommate, you can put it on Facebook. And again, this is something that can continue even after you move. Right now, I am home in Maryland on my rental, working on my rental, and this is income that continues to come in for me. And so this is something that I had, and I'm like, how can I use this to make it more profitable for me? So think about that room. I know I hear a lot of people, I don't want anybody in my space. I don't want anybody. Well, look about how you can use that space where you don't have to share. I have a friend who rents out 2 rooms in her house. She set it up in such a way that they share no space. They all use the same door to come in. And after that, her, I won't call them roommates, but her tenants, they have their own bathroom, they have their own bedroom, and she's even created a space where they do their own cooking. I wonder if you can do that in your home. I wonder if those extra bedrooms that you have in your house could be generating income for you today, which could help you towards your financial goal so you can relocate. Then I want you to look at your house and ask, I want to know, do you have a garage? Do you have a she shed? Because people pay for storage. There are sites where you can put that space on there and someone will pay you as a storage unit. So what is in that she shed? What is in that garage? Do you really have a lot of stuff stored in there? Could you not store it for someone else? Put someone else's stuff in there to storage. That's another way to get income. And depending on where you live, your parking space could mean money for you, especially in metropolitan areas, areas that are close to stadiums or event halls where people normally have to park in parking lots. I wonder if you could put your space on there. And I have seen it done. So don't think you need to have a parking lot to rent out your space. You can rent out your space on your driveway, not even giving someone your garage, but maybe if you have a driveway that has a full space on it, can fit a car or two, then you can actually rent out one of those spaces as well. So these are just things that you can do today. After this video, you can go on these sites and start listing your property. And one of the things I want you to think about, even when I talk about renting out rooms in your home, if you are ready to go now, like you are like done, DONE, done with living in the US and you are ready to go, maybe your first apartment that you have or the first place that you live in your destination is with a roommate. You have a roommate at first to help you handle the costs. Maybe you're not able to manage all the costs right now of living in a new country. But what happens if you had a roommate? Would that help you? What happens if you got a big house and had several roommates? Would that help you? That might help you in accelerating your move and keeping your costs down and also having some company, having someone to talk to connect with, and share this new experience with. So I just want you to think about that. Now, another thing is, I talked to you about your skills. I wonder if you can create some kind of digital product. Think about it. One of the things that I see that people are making goo gobs of money on, blows my mind, are planners. Oh my gosh. Literally, they like create like some really wild saying. And I have seen some wild, like my little mouth can't even say these sayings, have seen these things on people's covers on their uh, books, on these planner books, and they're selling them like hotcakes. That is cut once. That is exactly that. You create that one time and it will sell over and over again. You can put that on Etsy, depending on what kind of book it is. You can put it on Amazon. And so there's other sites as well. So think about that. Could you take your knowledge and create a small ebook? Or could you create a journal? What could you do with the skills and the knowledge you have? And if you say, well, I don't have those kind of skills, then create a planner, right? That's going on Canva and creating some really nice design, get an AI to help you and creating a nice design, and then you can have that printed. That is something that really, again, not only can you start doing that today, but even once you have moved, you can continue to have that business generate income for you and create more money. That is something that I actually love because it is something that you would create once and you just continue to sell and manage. Because some of those things you don't even have to do the shipping. Someone else could do the shipping for you. You can have some of them are print as you go, and you can do that with t-shirts, hats, These are all kinds of things. If you're a person that are really cool with your words, you're always saying something really funny, you have these little sayings or colloquialisms that you kind of like sprout out all the time and people love them. I wonder if you can put them on a journal, a book, a t-shirt, a hat, something, and people will buy it. Think about that. Think about that. So now I've talked to you about all kinds of ways to generate income. Let's talk about how you can reduce expenses. Now, I tell you, I'm always not that girl. I am not the girl who's going to tell you, don't get your hair done, don't get your nails done. But I am the girl who's going to tell you, let's look at where you could be leaking money out. Where is money coming out, right? I used to have a mentor who used to always say, you have leaky buckets. Where is money coming out in places where perhaps you didn't even know you were spending money on, or you are spending money in places that you don't have to? So let's think about, I talked about in the very beginning, unused subscriptions. What do you subscribe to? Look at your credit card and ask, and just go down line by line and ask yourself, am I still using that subscription? You'll be surprised. I love to do this once a year, and I am surprised of how many subscriptions I am subscribed to all the time. And I'm not using. And I do this annually, because annually we also pick up more subscriptions that we swore we were going to use. And especially now, the way these things come across and they're like, oh, do you want to lose weight? Fill out this. And next thing you know, you're in some $20 subscription. You don't even know how you got there. Or did you want to know this? You don't even know how sometimes how you got into some of these subscriptions. You thought you were just signing up for something. And next thing you know, you're billed every month. So go through your credit card statement, go through your bank statement, because it could be linked to one of your debit cards, and see if there are unused subscriptions. I use Rocket Money, and I'll put the link also for that in the description. Rocket Money is also a great way. They will show you all your recurring charges, and then you can look at each one and ask, am I using that? That's money that's leaking. Another thing, memberships. You know, you said this is, especially if this is the beginning of the year, you're watching this, you probably said you're going to go to the gym. You probably I don't know what you signed up for, Zumba, Pilates, some class, and are you still going? Is there a way that you can still maintain and still have your exercise routine that is not charging you? Now, I love to work out, and I love going to the gym, but I got for Christmas one year a hydro rower, and I love this machine. Oh my gosh, love this machine. It came with a subscription where I would get all the exercises, just kind of like a Peloton. Think about if you have a Peloton bike, right? And so it would give me all the different things that I could do, all the different exercises, and I loved it. I love going there. You know, I picked this one, I'm going to do a drive. I picked this one. They were like, hey, why don't you come on this river? So it was really great until someone told me, you know, those things are on YouTube. I'm like, you have got to be joking. So every month I was paying for these activities, these exercises, and I can also get them on YouTube. Now, are they the exact same one? No. But are they rowing activities and rowing sessions and instructions? Yes, they were. Well, I said goodbye to that subscription and hello to YouTube. And that is what I'm using now. I'm still using my rower. I'm still able to get someone giving me a full class of instructions, but now it's not costing me. So think about that. Then also think about some of the things we do for convenience shopping and measure, right? Things that we do for convenience. We order Uber Eats. Now, you know, Uber Eats, not only do they charge you a fee, sometimes the food, I mean, have you ordered something that for like $10 and next thing you know, it's $30? By the time they throw all those junk fees in, maybe you might want to get in your car and drive and get it. So maybe that's about planning your day out a little bit better. So then on the way home, you can pick up that meal instead of calling Uber Eats. So think about some of those other charges that we have. I used to have a subscription for lingerie, right? I love lingerie. I think every woman deserves to have herself a good, beautiful set of undergarments. That to me is not optional. Anyway, that's just me. So I had a subscription. But really, every single month, I need a whole new set coming in. That's a place where money could be leaking. So I had to adjust that. And I adjusted it to quarterly. Quarterly was enough. right? So look at your subscriptions. This is when I talk about subscriptions and things of convenience. And of course, I could have taken myself to Victoria's Secrets or any other store to get some of those things, but it was a convenient. It was coming in every month. I didn't have to think about it. I looked at it. I decided which ones I wanted, which ones I didn't want. I was able to send back. These are places where your money could be leaking. So I want you to ask yourself, this current expense, is it supporting my long-term goal? Your long-term goal is to move. Your long-term goal is to relocate. How is this expense supporting that? And also some of the things that we have subscription, Just Fab, shoes coming in every single month. Are you going to need all those shoes next month? I'm sorry, next time when you relocate, you probably got too many shoes now. I know I did, right? So we have all these shoes. Do we still need that shoe subscription? Do we still need that workout, exercise clothing subscription? I know we have a lot of subscriptions, and a lot of it is convenient for us. It's bringing us the things that we need, that we use without us going to the store to get it. But it's also causing our money to leak out in ways that maybe perhaps in our next stage, we don't need as many exercise outfits. We don't need as many pairs of shoes. So just think about that. So I just want you to share that with you. I want to say this. The things that I'm sharing with you do, every single one of them you can do today. And you get to choose which one works for you. Is it the high yield savings account? Is it using your skills more? Is it using your skills differently? Is it starting yourself with a digital product, looking through where your money is leaking? So I'm talking about increasing your income and looking where money is going out. Do both, and you will see your income level increase, your ability to have more increase increase. Because what I hear is, I need to pay off my debt. This is a fast way to pay off your debt. So, and this is also a way to have enough income that even while you are away, you're still doing okay. So by doing these things, these are very simple. This is no quick, rich scheme. You're not going to make $1 million in 1 year because you do this, and you probably won't even make six figures in the first year of doing this. But what it will do is little by little get you closer to where your ultimate goal is. And that is relocating to the dream place. So I hope this information helps you. I always talk to you about making income in various ways, passive income, active income, right? And also having income that is stable. Each one of these things that I showed you today will help you. It can start off as active, it can become passive, it can be stable income. It's a way for you to live your best life. So that is what it's all about. Relocation does not have to be a dream for you. Let's make it a goal. Let's put a deadline on it. I'm Sable, your bougie girlfriend, and you continue to live an elevated life.